ceremony, and Lou Piniella's out there throwing the first pitch. Joey Cora, Tigers third base coach, walks over, and actually, I shouldn't say walk. He hustled over to make sure he had a chance to talk to Lou before Lou walked off the field. Just, as someone that's covered this organization for so long, Shannon, I'm wondering your take on just the pregame ceremony and how much reverence there was in this ballpark last night, especially for Lou Piniella, as you're thinking about that.
He's never left this ballpark or this fan base.
Yeah.
Or at least those that were alive when he was,
right.
The legend of Lou Piniella, and well-earned as well. Just absolutely beloved here. And to have him there and to have the reaction was so special. And the team actually, they were around him in Tampa. He showed up in Tampa, and he promised that he would be here if they got here, and there was a home game here, and he was here, which was fantastic to see. But I was thrilled to see him in Tampa. I was thrilled to see him in the John Gruden video a few weeks before that. I'm like, he's looking good now, which is, and by the way, John, and you can help out with this, get him in the Hall of Fame.
Right.
We need good Lou Piniella press for that. He should absolutely, what he has done for the game as a player, as a manager, as a figure in this game, it should be a no-brainer as far as I'm concerned. But I do think that was an incredibly special moment. Obviously special for Dan, who thinks of him often, and it was just such a huge influence in Dan's life. And then Joey Cora, to see him, it's crazy to think Joey Cora was in the building.
Right. It was the timing was perfect. It was interesting, Shannon. So a couple hours ago, I was here early, and Matt Vierling was coming out. He's not active on the Tigers roster now, but he may later on in the playoffs if the Tigers should advance. And Joey Cora, as Joey always is, out there early, working with the Tigers infielders on their picks, and he was out there with Torkelson, and Joey, he works. He loves the game, and he works so much. And I said to Matt, who's just a phenomenal person, has got a great feel for the history of the game, I said, Matt, on that video that you see of Edgar's double, Joey is the first person to score, all right, before Junior. And I said, I called it up, of course, what did we ever do before Baseball Reference? And I said, here, Matt, here's the play-by-play of that inning. Joey Cora, single. Ken Griffey Jr., single. Edgar Martinez, double. That's the inning against Jack McDowell. So I just said there's a really important, all these videos of Mariner history, Joey is right in the middle of arguably the most famous rally in the history of this franchise. And it just, Shannon, and from covering the game, it tells the story about how many people, no matter what uniform they're wearing at a particular time, there is shared history. And I just thought that Joey, in the way, and I talked to Joey, said how really impactful it was for him to be able to thank Lou and see him in person. It's just, that was a really cool human moment that transcends the outcome of any particular game. It's
just so awesome that you can do that, and you're passing on some of the baseball there. When we were in Tampa, one of the things that got me is we were talking to Lou outside of Dan's office, and all the players had to run by. Mm-hmm. Mind you, that's the same day they had the team meeting. So they were coming out of the big team meeting, and we're talking to Lou, and all of a sudden he's like, Gino! And he gives Gino Suarez a huge hug, and Gino's just, going nuts. I'm like, how does Gino know? From the Reds. He was a special assistant with the Reds. So the reach in baseball is just so amazing. The other thing is you need to drag Rick Rizzs out there with you the next time you talk to them and have him relive the entire thing.
Yeah,
because,
that's right.
And there are also pictures of that moment all over this ballpark, which is pretty... That was your coach.
That's right. That's right.
Hey, Shannon, quickly before we let you go, just give me a thought on the lineup today. It's virtually the same, but they've swapped positions. Josh Naylor was hitting cleanup last night. He's hitting sixth tonight, and then you've got Garver as your DH. So anything to Naylor being dropped down a couple spots?
Tough lefty on the hill, and there are some hitters in this lineup that have had some success against Skubal, and there are some others that haven't, and that you're hoping for some good at bats from.
Right.
And that's the bulk of that right there. And Garver, they're looking for the good at bats, and maybe he runs into one.
Yeah, are you a believer in matchups? I mean, we keep talking about, they beat Skubal twice. So do you think there's any part of them that step into that box with just a different level of confidence versus another team that's facing Skubal?
There's certainly familiarity, which is important to everybody. I mean, a lot of people have faced him quite a bit. I don't think it hurts that there are certain hitters that have had some confidence, that have had some success and have that confidence. But the biggest thing is that they have seen it. They've seen it twice this year, and that certainly is not going to hurt.
Thank you so much, Shannon.
You got it.
As always, great stuff. Our Mariners insider, Shannon Dreher, joining us as we continue live from T-Mobile Park. We're going to talk about some of the other things we haven't really gotten deep into in terms of the matchups coming up today. Game 2, we're going to be catching up with Aaron Goldsmith in the next hour. Rick Rizzs will join us. So a lot coming your way. Stay tuned. We've got you covered here with the Mariners Pennant Push on Seattle Sports on 710.
Blue 88! I said Blue 88!
Every morning at 7:45, Brock Heward tackles 3 football questions as only he can.
What's going on with the Seahawks run game?
You're 18th in the league overall at 111 rushing yards a game, and you're 28th in the league at 3.6 yards per carry. You would think that is precarious. Yet on the same token, on the other side of it, you are also 4th in the league in attempts.
Catch every Blue 88 on the Seattle Sports app.
Hey man, gaining weight, dragging throughout the day, losing your drive? It could be your testosterone. The team at Revive Men's Health Washington gets men back on track with the energy and drive they've been missing. Meet Tyler, Revive Men's Health Director of Operations and witness to hundreds of success stories.
I've seen guys come in worn out, discouraged, and just not themselves. A few months into treatment, they're standing taller, speaking with more confidence. It's like watching someone come back to life, like a light switch gets turned back on. When a spouse says, "Thank you, I really have my partner back, better than before," that's the moment it all clicks for me, and that's why I do what I do.
Since 2011, Revive Men's Health has helped more than 120,000 men regain their energy and drive. Start your story today with an in-clinic visit or a secure video appointment. Call 206-529-1111 now to book your free testosterone test, exam, and consultation. That's 206-529-1111 or schedule anytime at revivemenshealth.com.
If you're 55 or older and into that whole saving money thing, T-Mobile has an exclusive phone and internet bundle just for you. Right now, get 2 unlimited phone lines plus 5G home internet for just $30 each per month with autopay, plus taxes and fees. And with 5G home internet, setup is easy with just 1 cord and no technician needed, which is great if you're also into that whole keeping it simple thing. Switch now and experience the best mobile network in the U.S. Visit your local store to start saving. T-Mobile, it's better over here.
Based on analysis by Ookla of speed test intelligence data Q4 2024 to Q1 2025. Ookla trademarks used under license. Unlimited on our network. Customers on voice plan may notice speeds lower than other customers and further reduction if using more than 50 gigs a month due to data prioritization. Video streams and SD on this plan. Home internet pricing after $20 and monthly bill credit plus $5 per line without autopay. Debit or bank account required. See 5G device coverage and access details at T-Mobile.com.
Here's a tale of Becky. Didn't know what to do with new meds prescribed and no real cost clue.
She squinted at prices, that can't be right. Then tapped GoodRx and saw the light.
She could get a deal. Book telehealth if she feel.
Learn about those meds without any stress. That one little app does all the rest. Even my horse downloaded it. Dang, save time and money on prescriptions.
Check GoodRx. GoodRx is not insurance.
This message comes from Viking, committed to exploring the world in comfort. Journey through the heart of Europe on an elegant Viking longship with thoughtful service, destination-focused dining, and cultural enrichment on board and on shore. With small ships that bring travelers closer to the destination, there's more time to explore. And every Viking voyage is all-inclusive, with no children and no casinos. Discover more at Viking.com.
Progressive's Teen Driver discount could lower the cost of insurance for your teenager and save you some money. And then you can still spend money on them. Because just when you think you have a grasp on spending, new sneakers. And then it's money for a school field trip. And of course, spending money. Oh yeah, and a new phone to replace the one they dropped in the toilet. Oh, don't remind me. So just get Progressive's Teen Driver discount. And then you can continue to spend money on them endlessly. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Discount not available in all states and subject to terms and conditions.
Let's go! You're still glowing, flirting, grooving. You still got it. But your immune system weakens as you age, making it harder to fight flu, pneumococcal pneumonia, RSV, and COVID-19. Vaccines are a key part of any health routine and help strengthen your immune response. Ask your doctor or pharmacist which vaccines you need. Schedule in minutes at vaxassist.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
This is Mariners Pennant Push, presented by Cheetos.
Equal Park. It is the Mariners Pennant Push right here, presented by Cheetos, Seattle Sports on 710. We got Charlie Furbush, Jon Morosi with you. Coming up at the top of the hour, we'll catch up with Mariners legend Rick Rizzs. Aaron Goldsmith will join us at 3:30 as well. So we'll take you all the way up to the Mariners official pregame show, beginning with our Mariners insider Shannon Dreyer at 4 p.m. But guys, taking a look at this, and we touched on this briefly with Gary, just talking about Castillo. And that's something we haven't touched on really going into this one. We're all focused on the offense for good reason. It was pretty absent last night. So hopefully we'll see a few other guys come up with some base hits beyond Julio and Cal. But Charlie, I'll start with you. Just your thoughts on what you've seen recently, the run that Castillo is on. Gary brought up the velocity is down from what he used to be. He's certainly not exactly that guy anymore. But when you do look at the splits, it is amazing the contrast between home and away, which is typical for a pitcher, but it's pretty extreme in his case. So the idea that they wanted to get him in here, the run he's on, and in game two seems like a great decision. I'm expecting a big game out of him, but where are you at with him?
Yeah, he's continued to impress me over this last 4 or 5 starts, and it's just been so consistent in terms of strike throwing and not necessarily letting counts get away from him. And I think that's what you realize when you're a veteran pitcher and you realize that your stuff isn't as dominant as it used to be. And when, we talk about the years where he came out throwing 98, 99, 100, and I think you can kind of get away with things from a pitching aspect just because it is so difficult to hit. And then when you become a little bit more vulnerable and you're not throwing as hard, you have to be even more precise on everything you're doing. And I think that's what I've seen. It's like he's taken another level in terms of strike throwing and throwing it consistently across the board. And as I was telling Shannon last night, we were watching the Tigers celebrate this win and looking down at the dugout, and I see Castillo with a ball in his hand, and he's just dead. There's only like 3 or 4 people in the dugout, and he's just dead staring at the Tigers team. And he's just like, it felt like I could see the daggers, the intensity. Like
he wanted to fight.
This isn't happening. I will not let this happen today or tomorrow. And I, typically a starting pitcher that is pitching the next day, they're out of there quick, going to get some rest, going to, really focus on everything for tomorrow. But the fact that he stuck around and really, I think, was really aware of what was at stake, and it felt like he was going to be the best version of himself today. I just hadn't seen that, so it was just a fun thing to watch, and it felt like he walked away with like, these guys have no chance tomorrow. So, but we'll see what happens today. It was cool to see.
John, the offense has to back him up. Back up whoever's out there. So they need to come to life tonight. But does it feel like, all right, this feels like the right guy at the right time? My understanding Wu is not available. This feels like the right call tonight, and I've got some faith. Is that I don't know, is that a fool's errand for me? Am I putting too much hope into him, or do you buy what you've seen over the past 4 or 5 starts from him?
I think what you've seen has been a really good demonstration of what he can still do. And you go back, and he was on the mound for one of what became one of the more important weekends of the Mariners season. That 18-2 was a lopsided win on the score sheet against the Braves. He was on the mound that day. But that was, as we all remembered, a really important pivot point for this Mariner team, where there were a lot of questions being asked about them early on in September. Where is this team going? And then he answered it. That was an emphatic win in Atlanta. And you look at, and I think what Charlie made an excellent point about the strike throwing. In his last 25 1/3 innings, 2 walks. 2. And he's given up only 2 home runs during those 4 starts. So he's kept the ball in the ballpark. He has limited a lot of damage, obviously, and just pitched exceptionally well during that time. So I think for a variety of reasons, he is the right person for the job. And I'll make this point too. This game yesterday could have easily gone to the Mariners' favor, but for a couple plays one way or the other. You look at it, the Mariners struck out the Tigers yesterday 16 times. Now, again, it's an 11-inning game, but still 16 strikeouts. So the Mariner pitching staff, and that started with Kirby, again, he struck out 8 in 5 innings, which is one more reason why it would have been a lot for me to say that he should have been out of the game before he faced Carpenter. I understand that we've already litigated that a little bit, but George Kirby pitched really well yesterday. And the staff overall strikes out 16 Detroit Tigers. it's the same lineup, by the way. It's another righty on the mound for Seattle. It's the same exact Tiger lineup, which is quite strikeout prone. So for a lot of those different reasons, I would expect a similar look to this Mariner pitching staff and the way that they can potentially attack the Tigers even when Castillo is done pitching today. One point as well that I think relates a little bit to the way that we could see this game unfold. To the positive side for Seattle, Bizzardo, just 3 pitches yesterday. I would expect he is available for a good run today, a good lane. Spire, even though, yes, he got 4 outs, 13 pitches. He was pretty efficient. So Spire, you would expect, could come back and pitch. Brash, 17 pitches. And so there's, in some ways, perhaps Brash threw maybe a bit more, maybe more pitches than you would have liked to have seen him throw. But his stuff I thought was electrifying. I talked to a member of the Tigers coaching staff today, and they were really impressed by the way that Brash pitched yesterday. So I like the way this game sets up for the Mariners pitching-wise. The bullpen should still be good as long as, I think for me, the magic number with Castillo, he was able to get his last 4 starts. 6 innings, 7 1/3. So he's been going deep into games. If he can be that efficient, I like his chances of potentially handing the ball to maybe it's Bizzardo, Spire, Brash, Munoz. You would hope to involve those guys in the game as often and have as few other people have to pitch for the Mariners as possible. And you can do that if Luis Castillo gets you 6 innings today or something close to it.
Yeah, I also think that he offers a sense of, familiarity or calmness. I think that if he comes out firing, has a quick, nice 1, 2, 3 first inning, and when he walks off, he'll take his hat off. He'll let the hair flow. There's something about his veteranness, I think, that allows everyone to play a little more free. Is that when one of your top guys that have been in the league and has had playoff experience, I think the way that he carries himself is going to really rub off on the other guys today. Is that no matter what is going on, even if he gives up a hit or two, I think his composure is going to rub off on other guys.
Yeah. Quickly, I want to get a thought on the offense and just what you thought of their approach last night. Seemed like, JP, you and I were sitting there talking. There were some really awkward swings. I don't know how much of that you put on the starter versus guys trying to be too big in the moment, especially as it got later. I really felt like it wasn't about, hey, I'm going to hit the ball where it's pitched. I'm going to take it the other way. I'm going to settle for a base hit. It looked like everybody was trying to play hero ball and hit the ball out of the park. What was your feeling on their approach?
It's interesting. I would defer to what Cal Raleigh said, which was that at times maybe they got away from the approach that has made them a very good team this season. And it was interesting. Julio, just a short time ago, was asked about this. And I'm going to read his quote. He said, quote, "Just sticking to our approach, sticking to swinging at our pitches. And I feel like we're going to be in a good spot if we do that. I feel like we know that we're a really good team, that we can also do damage quick against anybody, and staying within ourselves is going to be huge moving forward in this postseason." So Julio acknowledging that maybe they were a little bit anxious, which, again, it was an amazing atmosphere, crowd, the emotions of not having played a baseball game in 5 days, and then you step out into what, again, I was referencing my conversation with Matt Vierling. Vierling was on the Phillies team that played the Astros in the World Series in 2022, and Matt said that last night felt like a Philly crowd, that's high praise. Because we were talking last night.
Talking about their nastiness?
Well, the volume. To me, Citizens Bank Park, in the years I've been fortunate to cover Major League playoff games, those crowds are the most invested and loudest and most consistent. And what Matt said last night, I agree with. He said this felt like a Philly crowd, invested, engaged from the first inning, the first time George Kirby had 2 strikes on Gleyber Torres. Whole place is on their feet. And guess what? It was that way when he was striking out Green in the 3rd and then Colt Keith in the 4th and McKinstry in the 4th. This place was alive and engaged. And that can also at times amp up maybe a little the anxiety for your own players. And so did they go out of the zone a little bit? Yes. But the guys that stayed in the zone, Cal and Julio, had success. And I think they set the tone, Charlie, to where when your best players set that example, it does send you on a good trajectory, I believe, entering Game 2.
Yeah, the offense as a whole. I don't know if it was an approach, swinging at bad pitches. I ultimately think the Tigers staff did a pretty good job navigating the lineup and not giving the Mariners a ton of opportunities. So, I mean, that's what it's going to be a similar story tonight. Is each at bat, you may only have one, at best 2 pitches to hit, and if you don't hit it, then that might be it. So, I think realizing that, the game, I think they learned a lot about themselves in a lot of ways. I think the game can be sped up. I also think from a individual standpoint, like, you really want to do well in the playoffs and you want to show out for your team, and sometimes that own internal want, this desire to help out your team can get in the way of what you just need to do. And ultimately, that's because in a lot of ways you didn't have that before the playoffs, right? Like, you don't have this, I really, really want to come through. It's on national TV. Everyone's watching. My family is like, I think it's just everything's so elevated. And once you're in there and you have an opportunity and you don't get it done, it kind of gets amplified. So realizing that, the best you can do is try and treat it like another game, like in every sense of it. But it's so hard. It's so much easier to say than actually do in practice because everything is amplified. But I think when you look at this team and they look at themselves in the mirror and say, well, guess what? Do we really want to have 18 innings of baseball left this season, or do we want to keep going, right? I mean, is this the last home game we're going to play this year? I don't think so. So I think when you look at it that way and you realize that it's all hands on deck and it's all going to come down to, taking down one of the best pitchers in the game right now, they know they're up against it, and they know that every opportunity they have to capitalize on.
All right, we'll talk more about what's to come tonight, Game 2 of the ALDS here live from T-Mobile Park. We're going to speak with the legend, Rick Rizzs. He's going to join us next here in our Mariners Pennant Push presented by Cheetos. This is Seattle Sports on 710.
Get inside the huddle.
The handoff inside to Charbonnet. He's going to go. Touchdown, Seahawks.
Taking you inside the VMAC every week. Thursdays, noon to 2.
Our guys show up to play.
Player interviews.
It's obviously been paying off. Just going to continue to do that.
Previewing this week's matchup.
We'll say they come out and just run the ball down the Niners' throats.
And everything Seahawks.
If anybody had a doubt, don't.
The Huddle. Every Thursday at noon. Exclusively on the home of the Seahawks. Seattle Sports.
Do you owe $10,000 or more in credit card debt or personal loans? With credit card debt at all-time highs,
I-5 and other local roads. It's tolling now, and you can save $2 per toll with a Good-to-Go pass. Get a free sticker pass at goodtogo509.com.
When it comes to the security of your business, doubts can creep in about who you're trusting to protect it. At Bail Arm, we got you. For nearly 80 years, we've been putting our customers' minds at ease with our advanced technology and personalized support. Feeling insecure about your current security service? Visit bailarm.com today.
Hey, baseball fans, Rick Rizzs here. I'm excited to introduce you to my good friend Keith Dashafy, owner of Pella Windows and Doors of Western Washington. Keith?
Thanks, Rick. Just like our favorite baseball team, Pella Windows and Doors of Western Washington is stepping up to the plate. Mention Go Seattle when you book, and you'll knock it out of the park with 15% off and 12 months, no payments, and no interest. Schedule today before this deal is gone.
That's fantastic, Keith. Don't wait. Schedule your free appointment today at PellaPNW.com.
Tired of hearing scary radio ads about the IRS? Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000 or $500,000, we have a solution. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS with zero risk to you. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with a BBB. End your tax nightmare today by visiting TRA.com or call 800-275-1728. That's 800-275-1728.
Hi, it's me, Flo, here to tell you that with the Progressive Home and Auto Bundle, you get 24/7 protection, so you're covered no matter where the day takes you.
Even bad hair day?
Yep.
And tree branch fell on my car day?
Especially that day. Progressive has you covered 24/7 for your home and auto.
How about thought it was chicken, but it was tuna day? Or overnight construction outside my bedroom day?
Those days too.
Great, because that was each day this week.
Been there. Well, at least your home and auto are covered every day with Progressive.
Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and other insurers. Not available in all states.
Here's that song again. Here's that song again. For the 100th time today.
Here's that song again. It's gonna be stuck in your head all day. Here's that song again. It will make you cray cray.
You love your kids enough to watch that TV show a bajillion times. Love them enough to make sure they're in the right car seat for their age and size. Show them you love them. Keep them safe. Visit nhtsa.gov/the right seat. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
This is Mariners baseball on Seattle Red. On 770 KTTH Seattle, 97.3 KIRO FM, HD3 Tacoma Seattle, 94.5 K233 DT Eastwood, 33 BU Seattle. Welcome to the Mariners Pennant Push, presented by Cheetos.
The Seattle Mariners are champions in the American League West.
2 hours of special pregame coverage, counting you down to first pitch in the American League Division Series.
It is on its way. It is history. Cal Raleigh stands alone.
Now your host, Bob Stelton.
We are live at T-Mobile Park. We are getting you set for Game 2 of the American League Division Series. Bob Stelton, Charlie Furbush, J.P. Morosi. Charlie, look, when you're feeling down, you need guys that come in with positivity. And we got one of the great ones in J.P. Morosi. He's always a consistent ray of sunshine. JP. But we're going to double up on that with another ray of sunshine. A guy who's always smiling, always happy. He's a legend in this city. Everybody knows him. Everybody loves him. The great Rick Rizzs. How are you, man?
I'm fine, Bobby. How are you, Charlie? Great to have John Paul Morosi here. I love this.
It's good to have both of you here because it makes me feel better.
He's my Italian buddy. His grandparents, his family's from Italy, mine too, so we got this common bond.
Now, so, do you speak Italian? Because this guy will go.
He does. I used to when I was really small because we lived upstairs from my grandparents who were from Italy, and that's all they spoke. We had a 2-flat on the south side of Chicago. When I was real small, we spoke Italian. But then we moved away just to the next city, and I lost it. I know all the bad words you shouldn't say, but
we will not say those words during this segment.
Yeah.
But by the way, I do have some news, Bob and Charlie, to share about Rick. Is that I've connected him now to the Italian American Baseball Foundation.
Oh,
so
nice.
now Rick, we have added him now to the family. So I texted my friends Carmine Gangone and Joe Qualiano who run the Italian American Baseball Foundation, which is very active right now, getting ready for the World Baseball Classic. General Manager Ned Coletti. Manager Francisco Cervelli. Cervelli lives a lot of the year now in Italy, so we've got a really ambitious group. They're going to have to play Team USA in Houston, which will be a tough matchup there against Italian-American manager Mark DeRosa. So there's a lot of connections there. But Rick is now, he's always been one of the leaders of the Italian-American baseball family, but now Rick is officially a member of the organization. We just, prego, piacere mio.
Yeah, you got it. Ever what you said.
Yeah. I agree with whatever he said.
Yeah.
Well, Riz, as you now a few hours removed from last night, looking at this matchup tonight, we'll put that one in the rear view and look at this one tonight. Give me some of the keys to the game, if you will. And I know you guys go through this on the pregame, and we've talked about the fact that they've beaten Skubal twice. I'm curious how much you think that matters. Does that play subconsciously either with him or with the guys that are going to be stepping in the batter's box?
Both. I believe it's both because you've beaten them twice, so the guys in the clubhouse right now know they can do it. You know, they beat them early in the season. They beat them later on during the year, right before the All-Star break. He's still Tarek Skubal. You know, he's going to throw that changeup a lot, along with his fastball, that great combination. So he's still one of the best pitchers in the game. Cy Young Award winner last year, going to win it again this year. So you have to be on your game. You got to make him work, get his pitch count up, or be aggressive early in the count. Get that fastball and go get it and get your base hits and score some runs. Because it wasn't all about the pitching last night. It was the offense. The Mariners scored only 2 runs last night, 6 hits, and only 2 guys got those 6 hits, and that was Cal Raleigh and Julio Rodriguez. So they're going to have to score early and add on and make it tough and make Skubal throw stress pitches. But I love the Rock because he knows he's beaten him twice this year. He is the Rock for a reason. He's going to go out there and give you everything he's got for 5+, 6+ innings and give you a chance to win a game. And I love the fact that he's going to be out there and the Mariners are ready for this ball game because they need to even up the series before they leave for Detroit after the game today.
Rick, you mentioned the offense, or let's say lack thereof, last night, just because only 2 guys got hits. Who in the lineup do you think can be the X factor that, you know, obviously I think Cal and Julio will continue to have good at-bats, but who do you look to have, you know, the X factor at-bat to kind of game change everything?
Yeah, I'm looking at a couple of guys in this lineup other than Cal and Julio because these guys are at the top of their game. Cal Raleigh, the best player in the American League. He's going to be the MVP. At least I hope he is. But it's still Randy Arozarena in that leadoff spot. He's got to get things going for the guys behind him. And then when you get that Julio home run or Cal home run, it's a 2-run home run or it's a 3-run home run. And Jorge Polanco, I think, can do some damage, from the right side against Skubal and maybe get that fastball down the middle of the plate if he makes a mistake. He doesn't very often, or a changeup out over the plate, which he doesn't do very often. But you're going to get that one pitch. But the guys at the bottom of the order have to get on, too. J.P. Crawford, Robles, and Mitch Garver at the bottom of the order, Josh Naylor. When they do that and turn over the lineup, that's when the Mariners have the ability to put up some crooked numbers on the scoreboard. But those two guys are key.
Rick, I love this about postseason baseball, that you think about when you were in school and you took a test that counted double. The postseason always counts double or triple or quadruple in the way that a player is viewed by a fan base. And so the player who I'm looking at today is Mitch Garver. I know it hasn't always been easy for him since coming over here, but he's someone that has won a World Series ring before with the Rangers. Mm-hmm. And Rick, as I look at Garver today, righty against a lefty, again, it's not as though Tarek Skubal is just another lefty. But with Garver today, how do you see this as maybe a unique opportunity for him to make a pretty special impact on this fan base by having a huge game in a contest that really is a swing game in this series?
Yeah, when you talk about Mitch Garver, you mentioned it. He was in the World Series, with the Texas Rangers, and he won it. So he's not going to let the moment get too big on him. And he's in there. If he gets that mistake, he has the ability to hit the ball out of the ballpark. That's what the Mariners do. They're number 2 in the American League in home runs, 238 home runs, number 3 in baseball. They got Cal, who had the historic year. But Garver has that ability to come up with a big hit. He's done it, in the few limited times he has started. He's done it really a number of times during the course of the year. But he has a chance to hit the ball out of the ballpark or drive a ball in the gap to drive in a run or 2 or 3. So that's what I'm looking for, Mitch Garver. The Mariners now are built for this day. They've got a lot of guys with postseason experience, 9 guys from the team that was here 3 years ago. That's a huge experience for those young players. Julio was a rookie in 2022. Cal Raleigh hit a home run in that postseason. They beat Toronto in 2 games in Toronto before 56,000 fans. Mm-hmm. That experience says a lot. Now you tack on Luis Castillo was there. He came in the trade in July of that year. Now you tack on Randy Arozarena, who has the great numbers in postseason play. You bring in Naylor, who has a lot of postseason play. Mitch Garver has won a World Series. Josh Naylor. So now these guys have been there and done it. They know what they need to do today. Forget about last night. They need to win this game and get it even going to Detroit.
The one guy I'm looking to step up is the one guy who actually hit well throughout the playoffs in 22 for this team, because everybody else, when you look at the numbers, didn't really have a great postseason run, and that's Gino Suarez. Yeah. That's a guy we know can hit the ball out of the stadium almost. Right. I mean, he's got tremendous power. I feel like we're waiting. We've been waiting for him to find that rhythm and find. I mean, he can be such a damaging individual in that lineup. And it just, I mean, last night he was one of many who didn't come up with a hit, 0 for 4 with 2 Ks. He looked like it seemed like everybody was going big rather than going for the base hit. Like they were trying to play hero ball and kind of getting out of what they do as far as an approach. And he would be somebody I would point to very big in that way.
Exactly. I'd like to see the guys not become Nelly Fox or anything like that, or Luis Ariz, but, early in the count, go Yahtzee. Get aggressive and see what you can do. With 2 strikes, though, with Skubal, you got to hit the ball up the middle, hit the ball the other way. Get on base, take your walker, get on base, leave it to the guy behind you. That's what the Mariners did when they had that great run. They weren't playing very well at all until they got to Atlanta, lost to Sale, but then they scored 10 runs, won 10-2, then they won 18-2. They kept putting the ball in play. They turned into the Milwaukee Brewers, for a couple of days there in Atlanta, and they got the offense going, and they hit the home run ball. So when you do that, when you hit the ball the other way, get on base, take advantage of the other team's mistakes defensively, you can put up some big numbers, and that's what you have to do against a guy like Tarek Skubal.
Riz, you're the best, man. We love you.
You are.
We love you, man.
Thank you.
And you're gonna call us to victory tonight.
That's what the Mariners are looking for right now. Even this thing up with the Rock on the mound, and and get your base hits, score some runs, take some pressure off the rock, and go get the Tigers today.
All right, there you go.
Thanks,
there
Rick.
he is, everybody. Rick Rizzs, the legend, calling the action tonight along with Gary Hill and Aaron Goldsmith, who will join us coming up at 3:30. Still a lot to come before we turn you over to the Mariners pregame show at 4 p.m. We're coming to you live from T-Mobile Park. It's the Mariners Pennant Push presented by Cheetos right here, Seattle Sports on 710.
Drivers who switch and save with Progressive could save hundreds. With that kind of money, you could go big time. The next time you're out to dinner with friends, you can order the shrimp cocktail for the table. And maybe you'll realize it only comes with 4 shrimp after you've already given away 3, but that one shrimp will be so good. And if you switch and save hundreds, you could get shrimp all the time. Switch to Progressive and you could save big time. For shrimp. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, not available in all states. Potential savings will vary.
If you love to travel, Capital One has a rewards credit card that's perfect for you. With the Capital One Venture X card, you earn unlimited double miles on everything you buy. Plus, you get premium benefits at a collection of luxury hotels when you book on Capital One Travel. And with Venture X, you get access to over 1,000 airport lounges worldwide. Open up a world of travel possibilities with the Capital One Venture X card. What's in your wallet?
Terms apply. Lounge access is subject to change. See CapitalOne.com for details.
This March, Wendy's is fueling the madness with amazing deals on their hamburgers made with fresh, never frozen beef.
Like a juicy Dave's single for $1 and a fresh $2 Dave's double with in-app offer.
It's such a good deal, we wrote a little ditty about it.
Get it for $1. Dave's single, order in the app. Dave's single, get it for $1. Choose wisely, choose Wendy's, official hamburger March Madness.
Limited time offer. Participating U.S. Wendy's. See offer details and redeem at Wendy's app. Account registration required. Fresh beef available in the contiguous U.S. and Alaska.
Nothing beats your game day confidence. You knock on wood and the coffee table and bite each chip exactly twice. This is our year, you whisper to your bobblehead. So when you buy this season's lucky jersey, you don't leave checkout up to chance. You use Pays, an online checkout offered by banks and credit unions. Rituals intact. Payment handled. Bobblehead still nodding yes. Shop with confidence at your favorite online stores. Visit Pays.com. That's PAZE.com. Terms and conditions apply.
Comcast Business can help turn your small business into a connected, secure, modern business. It's how restaurants become reliably up and running neighborhood favorites. How healthcare offices become the data-protecting caregivers that we all depend on. And how wealth management firms become cyber-securing guardians of your information. With reliable connectivity, enhanced cybersecurity, and Wi-Fi backup, your business can stay connected and get threat-ready with Comcast Business. Powering possibilities.
Now through November 16th, new Comcast Business customers can get started with 150 megabit internet plus security for $59.99 a month for 12 months with a 2-year agreement. Plus, ask how to get a $500 prepaid card on a qualifying gig package. Call today. Restrictions apply. Requires enrollment in paperless billing and auto pay with bank account. Early termination fee applies. Equipment, taxes, and fees extra.
Lowe's knows pros want more. Join My Lowe's Pro Rewards for free to get $20 off your first qualifying purchase of $100 or more just for signing up. Plus, enjoy free standard shipping and more ways to save on your next job. Lowe's, we help, you save. Offer valid for new members only. Not valid with any other discount. Free standard shipping not available in Alaska and Hawaii. Exclusions and more terms apply. Loyalty program subject to terms and conditions. Visit Lowe's.com/pro loyalty for details. Subject to change.
When it comes to the security of your business, doubts can creep in about who you're trusting to protect it. At Bail Arm, we got you. For nearly 80 years, we've been putting our customers' minds at ease with our advanced technology and personalized support. Feeling insecure about your current security service? Visit bailarm.com today.
the voice of your Seattle Mariners, Aaron Goldsmith, with us. We got J.P. Morosi here. We got Charlie Furbush with us as well. And the fans are starting to pour into the stadium, guys. Look, the pen is already full. You got to love that. That's the first place that fills up. Have you been out there?
I have not been out there since it became the Pen. I have been there in the past, in my younger years, when I lived here 20 years ago, which I had to. It's amazing to do all the tabulation and realize it's been that long since I've lived here.
You were out there partying.
Well, right. These were in my younger years.
You were yelling at me out there.
Furbush.
Right.
Come on, you got to succeed today. You got to stink it up. What are you doing there?
This guy again?
Shannon knows well. That was the 2005 team of Eddie Guardado and Jeff Nelson, Everyday Eddie. I still see Eddie every now and then. He because he worked for a while with the Angels. I remember I was in their clubhouse, and I was talking to I can't remember who it was that I was talking to, and I felt this big bear hug from behind me, and I was lifted up off the ground, and it was Eddie Guardado, who's one of the all-time great people. So those bullpen arms, some great people back there, and Charlie, you as well. And by the way, we did spend some time today, Bob, going through the Charlie Furbush anthology, and Charlie knows the particulars of his own career, guys that he faced a lot. Josh Hamilton's career batting average, 143 against Charlie. Charlie dominated Josh Hamilton. MVP, wow. Josh 2 for 14 in his career against Charlie Furbush.
Couldn't handle your stuff.
Duh.
Was he a guy you would just step up there and go, I got this guy?
Yeah, there was a couple guys, and he was one of them because I just felt like he was going to swing at sliders all day. So I could just throw him 3 sliders in a row and he'd get himself out. And man, that was fun. Because you don't have that very often. We're out there where you go, okay, I got this guy's number.
Especially when it's at that time a star.
Mm-hmm. He was, that home run derby he had in Yankee Stadium, I think, put him on the map and was like, okay, this guy's insane. And obviously signs the contract and has a very not the best story at the end of the day. But yeah, he was a force to be reckoned with. And yeah, you said it, MVP guy, and he used to have to face all those guys. Him, David Ortiz. It's a life of a left-handed reliever. It's like that's what's, I think, last night when you talk about the game, hits home a little more for me is I've been there where Spire's out there getting warming up, ready to face this guy, and you're mentally getting ready to, do your job, and then suddenly you don't get called in. So it can be a little frustrating. So I know how difficult that feels when you've been called upon time and time again to get these guys out. But it certainly feels nice when you go up against a guy that you have had success before and just feel like you kind of have him beat before the bat even starts.
I want to make one quick point, Charlie, and along those lines about facing the great players of that era. I'm grateful that through the job that I have and traveling to different ballparks around the country pretty much every week, you get the little local flavor in the way in which history is represented in each stadium. Because again, it's not just about the game that's happening today. It's about the experience, the connectedness across the generations, and remembering moments. And I believe this ballpark and the thoughtfulness that the Mariners have put into this, and this Tim Hevely, Randy Adamak, Kevin Martinez, people that have done a great job of making this stadium and what we see as broadcasters and writers. And one of my favorite murals here is the one that you see, you get off the elevator and it's Junior in the on-deck circle.
Yeah.
And I spent a little time looking at that picture today. And one of the things I liked about it, I figured out just doing the math, that would have been 2009, because the summary on the side, it says the inning began, Ichiro led off the inning, and then Russell Branyan batted. And if you look, you can tell with Junior on deck, the guy who's batting is Beltre. It's just a very, very distinctive position at the plate. So I'm thinking to myself, there's 3 Hall of Famers among the 4 batters who are referenced in that inning.
Yeah.
Ichiro, Hall of Fame. Branyan, great career, not in the Hall of Fame. But then Beltre's batting, and then you've got Junior with just his stance there. And just that moment and just what the ballpark looks like. This place, by the way, it's a quarter century old. It feels new. It's just it's one of my favorite places to be in. And again, we'll talk about matchups and different things like that. But it's important on a day like this for the great baseball fans and great sports fans in the Pacific Northwest to just appreciate what we're seeing here. This is the kind of matchup that certainly for a lot of the last, up until the Mariners ended the drought and got back to the playoffs, just playoff baseball, period, wasn't something that Mariner fans were accustomed to seeing every year, right?
No.
And so you got to experience it and appreciate it. And a beautiful day like this in the Northwest, and certainly everybody listening right now who lives here and is here now, like, you know what these great Northwest days are like this time of year. This is just perfection. You got the Seahawks playing across the street. Those are the moments and the pictures that you step into a stadium like this and you realize you got Edgar on the coaching staff. You've got Dan Wilson managing. There's just a lot of really special things this organization does. I really believe, as well as any other team, in terms of honoring their history and their heritage. You see those great retired numbers out there. Jackie Robinson, of course, 42, retired across baseball. Griffey, Edgar, Ichiro. This is just it's a special ballpark with some amazing sports fans who I think are as engaged as any fan base in the country.
Hey, what about the Tigers' perspective going into this game? We haven't touched on that, and you're more familiar with them than most, JP. Look, their goal anytime you're coming into something like this, 2 games here, you're going, we got to get one. Let's get one. Now, do you see a team that comes into this game in game 2 with a different level of relaxation? Like, all right, mission accomplished. Now, we're not taking our foot off the gas, but maybe we can breathe a sigh of relief. The whole struggles of the end of the season are behind us. We accomplished what we wanted to do, and now let's get greedy and take game 2.
Yeah, I think it's a good point, Bob, and it was interesting. Dylan Dingler, I interviewed Dylan last night after the game for MLB Network, and he talked about momentum. And it's interesting in baseball where some will say that momentum is only as good as your next day's starting pitcher. We've all heard that since as long as the game has been played. That is true to an extent, but there's also a little momentum that comes from the way in which the team is approaching things and the mental headspace and relaxation that they have in the batter's box. Charlie, you played this game at the highest of levels, and what and you know this, I think, from the mound perspective, but I think also it transcends everything, that relaxed teams are dangerous teams. And you even see that late on in the season when if you're a team that's trying to clinch. The Tigers just lived this, by the way, for 3 weeks when they're mid-collapse, and it didn't matter who they were playing. The Braves were long out of it. The Braves dominated the Tigers. When you're a relaxed team, you're dangerous. And right now, I think the Tigers, a couple things have happened. Number one, maybe I'll say 3 things. Number one, they realized, okay, hey, we're really comfortable playing low-scoring games. They did it when they were in the playoffs a year ago. A lot of the same players here. So this in its own way feels comfortable and familiar to them. So they're comfortable and familiar in this setting, number one. Number two, mentally, and I haven't asked every player this, but I think this is probably a common answer if I did. You already went through the mental ringer for 3 weeks. You gave away the division title. At that point, you're already at rock bottom. Like, how much worse can it get? So once you sort of no longer have that to fear, you just play the game. So that gives you the certain confidence. And the third thing is there's a combination for this team between the guy on the mound and the manager who's at the controls of this team. When Skubal pitches, they feel like the best team in the world, okay? And he pitches today. He can also pitch in Game 5. Their manager is really, really good at managing postseason baseball. He's got a lot of wins. This goes back to even 2015. He took a team that probably should not have been as good as they were. He won a winner-take-all game at Yankee Stadium. He goes in there and pushes the Royals to a 5th game when that team went on to win the World Series. A.J. Hinch is an excellent postseason manager. So there's a certain comfort of the guy on the mound is great, our manager's great, and we all just have to fulfill our role, and we've got an excellent chance to win the game. I think that's the mental focus the Tigers are arriving today with, Charlie, and that's a pretty dangerous way. If you're the Mariners looking across the field, the confidence the Tigers have right now is very real.
Yeah, the mental side of this game is where games, I think, are won and lost at this point. It's not a physical thing. I think when you look at football, it's easier to go, oh, yeah, we can see we're better than this team physically in every sense of way. But baseball is so different. And when you play so many games and you go through the season, you hit highs, you hit lows, and sometimes the lows are real, real low. The Mariners did such a great job of going on that run in September, and I think that's a testament to how mentally strong they are and how good they can be. And this is what it's going to come down to, is who right now is more mentally equipped to handle the situation, and do the managers in hand have the acumen to make the best decisions when situations pop up.
Yeah, we're going to watch it. We're going to watch it, and how the Mariners get relaxed is going to be interesting. That's going to be on Dan Wilson and that coaching staff to get them in that frame of mind, even though last night did not go their way. We'll talk more about that. The voice of your Seattle Mariners, Aaron Goldsmith, will join us next as we continue live from T-Mobile Park. It's the Mariners Pennant Push, presented by Cheetos, right here, Seattle Sports on 710.
Get inside the huddle.
The handoff inside. It's Charbonnet. He's going to go. Touchdown, Seahawks.
Taking you inside the VMAC every week. Thursdays, noon to 2.
Our guys show up to play.
Player interviews.
It's obviously been paying off. Just going to continue to do that.
Previewing this week's matchup.
We'll say they come out and just run the ball down the Niners' throats.
And everything Seahawks.
If anybody had a doubt, don't.
The Huddle. Every Thursday at noon. Exclusively on the home of the Seahawks. Seattle Sports.
Now is your time to get into a new D.R. Horton home by taking advantage of its National Red Tag Sales event going on right now through October 19th. Stop by any of its participating communities and find select Red Tag homes at incredible pricing. So whether you're buying your first home or looking for an upgrade, you don't want to miss the Red Tag Sales event going on right now. Discover the D.R. Horton difference at drhorton.com. D.R. Horton, America's builder and equal housing opportunity builder.
Stuck in a job that just isn't getting it done? Maybe it's time to go for IT. Whether you're just starting out, switching careers, or a military veteran ready for change, My Computer Career can help you launch a rewarding career in IT in months. No prior experience needed. Why spend years getting a traditional degree when your future in IT can start right now? Take the free career evaluation at mycomputercareer.edu today. Your most powerful upgrade? Your career. Go for it. Go for IT. Financial aid is available to those who qualify, including VA benefits.
This message comes from Viking, committed to exploring the world in comfort. Journey through the heart of Europe on an elegant Viking longship with thoughtful service, destination-focused dining, and cultural enrichment on board and on shore. With small ships that bring travelers closer to the destination, there's more time to explore. And every Viking voyage is all-inclusive, with no children and no casinos. Discover more at Viking.com.
If you use carpool or toll lanes along SR 167, some things are about to change, and some things aren't. If you ride without a Good-to-Go account, you'll receive a bill in the mail. That is a change. Having Good-to-Go means it'll cost less than pay by mail. Not a change. Carpoolers will need a Flex Pass set to HOV mode to ride free. That's a change. A Good-to-Go pass saves you $2 on every toll. No change. Learn more at goodtogo167.com. Free Flex Passes while supplies last.
What if you had the smartest Wi-Fi? If you did, it'd be Xfinity, of course, and it'd come with their best state-of-the-art equipment. It would boost speeds to the devices that needed them most, prioritizing your most important connections, whether you were streaming, gaming, or gaming while pretending to work. And it would let you stream 4. That's right, 4 games on one screen. It would even power your mobile connection so you could bring faster, secure Wi-Fi speeds with you where you use it most. It would be proactive and fix problems before you knew you had them. Impressive, right? And it would have security features that protect you from threats at home and online. Kinda like a force field for your life. If you had the smartest Wi-Fi, well, everything would work together seamlessly to keep you connected, no matter what. Xfinity. Imagine that. Restrictions apply.
Hey man, gaining weight, dragging throughout the day, losing your drive? It could be your testosterone. The team at Revive Men's Health Washington gets men back on track with the energy and drive they've been missing. Meet Tyler, Revive Men's Health Director of Operations and witness to hundreds of success stories.
I've seen guys come in worn out, discouraged, and just not themselves. A few months into treatment, they're standing taller, speaking with more confidence. It's like watching someone come back to life, like a light switch gets turned back on. When a spouse says, "Thank you, I really have my partner back, better than before," that's the moment it all clicks for me, and that's why I do what I do.
Since 2011, Revive Men's Health has helped more than 120,000 men regain their energy and drive. Start your story today with an in-clinic visit or a secure video appointment. Call 206-529-1111 now to book your free testosterone test, exam, and consultation. That's 206-529-1111 or schedule anytime at revivemenshealth.com.
Mariners Pennant Push, served up by Cheetos.
We are live at T-Mobile Park. It is the Mariners Pennant Push, Game 2 of the ALDS, just a little over an hour and a half away right now. We get a chance to catch up with the man who's going to be on the call. You know him, you love him. He is Aaron Goldsmith. How are you, buddy?
Gentlemen, great to be with you once again.
It's good to talk to you, and as we get closer to game time, I don't want to dwell on last night because we've covered it. It is what it is. But
that's why I'm going third.
That's why. I do want to just get one thought from you on two elements. Obviously, the offense. Did you make of the approach at the plate? Because just to my eye, I felt like guys were trying to be too big in the moment. You saw them getting out of there. First of all, it didn't seem like Melton had everybody fooled for the most part. Like there were some awkward swings going on there. Like they didn't see the ball well outside of Julio and Cal. But just a thought on the offense, and then of course a thought on the decision to leave Kirby in to face a guy who's had his number rather than bring in Spire.
I was really impressed with Melton. 24-year-old kid, 4 big league starts, fewer than 50 major league innings. He had relief appearances, obviously, outside of his starts. But to come into this ballpark with that crowd, he's a big stuff pitcher, right? He was blowing 97, 98 with some good secondaries. I was really impressed by him. And I think if you're A.J. Hinch, him going 4 innings and 1 run is the best-case scenario for them, right? That couldn't have worked out better for the Tigers. It wasn't a bullpen game, but it was a semi-bullpen game, right, for the Tigers. Melton was clearly not an opener. He was kind of a quasi-starter. But I will say, I don't have numbers to back this up, but my feeling is that bullpen games like that typically go one of two ways. Either it's really hard to hit because you're never facing the same guy twice after the starter leaves, which is a very difficult thing to do. Or a bullpen game gets blown up because all it takes is one reliever to have a bad day, and then that's the weak link in the chain, and then it's all gone, right? And it obviously went the way of the Tigers last night. So it was not a great offensive showing by any means, but I can understand the difficulty involved with that from the Mariners side. Regarding Spire not coming in for Kirby, to me, Gabe Spire was the X factor in this series, and still can be. Because if you're the Tigers, your 2 best hitters are lefties, and one of them in particular, in Carpenter, is very bad historically against left-handed pitching. And Gabe Spire is Gabe Spire. I don't have to tell anybody who he is and what he can do. And if you're A.J. Hinch, the one thing that you are prepared to do is decide what you will do at what point in the game when Gabe Spire faces Kerry Carpenter. Are you going to go to the bench and you're going to bring on a righty, or are you going to stick with your lefty? That was probably one of the top 2 things that A.J. Hinch had to process going into last night's game. Mm-hmm. When will I go and pinch it for Carpenter? What's the situation? And I will simply say that when I look at last night's decision, I would ask myself, what does A.J. Hinch not want me to do right now? He does not want me to bring in Gabe Spire, because then he has to make the decision, am I going to pull one of my best hitters in the 5th inning with a tying run at second base, or am I going to leave him in there and have a massive platoon disadvantage, left on left, Carpenter against Spire, but leave him in there because I want his bat later, knowing that he will more than likely make the final out of the inning, and we will more than likely be down 1-0 going to the bottom of the 5th. Like you would make A.J. Hinch have to make a decision there, and that is not what happened. So that's one of the ways that I processed last night.
Aaron, we've seen this team with their backs against the wall time and time again. You know, what makes them so good at flushing a loss and moving on? Because this is going to be vitally important today.
The Mariners are in this kind of interesting space that I think maybe sneaked up on a lot of us, maybe all of us to some degree. Like, Julio's not a puppy anymore. And he's still a young man. He's still 24 years old, but he's in his 4th big league season, right? JP is a veteran. Cal Raleigh is a veteran at this point. Now, they might defer and say, I'm not even haven't even hit free agency. I can't be a veteran yet. I haven't been in. You could speak to that better than me, Charlie. So maybe they're not grizzled veterans. They're not a Mitch Haniger, right, or a Josh Naylor, but they're young vets. And I think they've been around it enough. They've been through these kinds of things enough that they are capable of doing that. And if you want to be a good big leaguer, a big leaguer with a career, like you have to be great at that, right? Whether you're a reliever, a starting pitcher, a position player, you have to be great at that. And a lot of that does come with just seasoning. And I think the Mariners are a very well-seasoned team. When you look around the roster, it's not just a bunch of young guys anymore.
One thing, Aaron, that I'm looking at for this game that could be determinative in terms of the outcome is how resilient are the Mariners' bullpen pieces bouncing back today. Brash threw 17 pitches to get 2 outs. Munoz was tremendous. 2 innings, 2 strikeouts, no walks, no hits. He threw 25 pitches. So from having watched this team play all season long, Aaron, what do you think the limitations would be with Brash and Munoz coming back today, and how does that feed into what you're hoping to get in terms of length from Castillo to make all the pieces come together?
I would hope that as long as nobody is ailing, right, that it's all hands on deck. You've been off for a week, more or less. You have tomorrow off. Unless somebody is in physical pain that they cannot operate with, I would hope that they could go. Now, Munoz, I don't know, Charlie. He got up and down twice, right? You tell me. If you pitch 2 innings, and what was it, JP, 25
pitches?
Is 25 pitches, does it feel different when you get up and down twice versus 25 pitches to get 3 outs? Is there a difference there?
No, not a big difference. I would say it's how you feel today.
Okay,
you know what I mean? Like, as long as you feel decent, you're all hands on deck, like you said. You're ready to go.
Yeah, because I think Castillo is interesting because he might have the biggest variance between his ceiling and his floor of what he can do today, right? I mean, if he went 6 shutout and he's the Rock, you'd be like, yeah, we have seen that in October from this guy, right? But if it's also a situation where you've got a slim lead and it's about to be the 3rd time through and you do know that you've got a full bullpen available, you pivot, right? Like I can see either one of those things happening today. Both of those are in play for the Mariners and for Dan Wilson.
How big is it in your mind that this team get out first, that they score first? I mean, I know it doesn't dictate the final outcome, but just in terms of really putting last night behind you, getting this crowd fired up, if they're able to put something on the scoreboard before the Tigers, how big is that?
Well, I understand the balance of which you asked that question because the Mariners scored first last night, they lost the game, right? So, like, you obviously understand that. I do think there is something to washing away the pain of last night with some early offense. Like, all can be forgotten pretty quickly if you hang a crooked number at some point early in the game. There's no doubt. And I think there is also something to, and we did feel this after that Julio home run, there's something about what the vibe in a dugout is when your big guys do big things in big moments. Like when Julio hits a tank in October in front of 47,000 people, what a galvanizing feeling that is for everybody in that dugout and that bullpen and the whole crowd, right? So when something like that can happen, man, it does jumpstart you. And if you compare that with some great pitching, the Mariners need a win today. To put it, they have to play today like it's an elimination game.
And that feeds into what you said about the bullpen a moment ago. Well, one little note for you on, and where I think it's accurate to actually say that the Mariners hit into some bad luck, I thought, yesterday. Of the top 5 exit velos yesterday, according to Baseball Savant, so all the StatCast data, of the top 5, 4 were off Mariner bats.
Okay.
There was the 1 Carpenter home run. 2 of those exit velos belonged to Julio, and then 1 to Josh Naylor, 1 to J.P. Crawford, neither of which was a hit. So there was some loud contact. Naylor, and in fact, and Aaron, you obviously were on the call for this, the at-bat right after the Julio homer, 4th inning, Mariners already lead. It was a lightning bolt off the bat from Naylor to right field, and it was caught by Carpenter there, and that was the one where afterward Melton was kind of smiling to himself, ooh, that was a near miss. But that was, so the point is they there was some loud contact by the Mariners last night that was not rewarded, and that, to me, yesterday's at-bats, collectively, the swings were way better than the playoff game here 3 years ago against Houston. Not even close in terms of, I thought last night's swings and offensive look were better than what they had 3 years ago.
I would agree with that, and I know what I'm about to say I think you'll agree with, but you can disagree. I'm a big believer in the process, and I remember Mitch Haniger told me years ago, and it's something that I'll always fall back on. He said, I don't chase hits, I chase contact, like quality contact. Right. Because his belief was, if I get 10 jam jobs and 9 of them land for a base hit, it's because I got lucky 9 times. Like that, you can't make money in this league and have a career if that's how you're putting the ball in play. You have to find hard contact, right? Unless you are Luis Ariz, unless you're one of like 3 players and active right now. And so I'm a big believer in the process and trusting the duration of the season. Well, the duration of the season now is possibly 2 more games. That's just the life that they're living right now. No, there's no more 162. Right now, it's you got to get results. And you can have that's the tough thing about the playoffs. You can have bad luck for 3 games and be eliminated. Right. Which is why you have to play it. To tie it in, you have to play tonight like it's an elimination game. You just have to. Because if you fall down 0-2, you're really hosed, man. And in my mind, and I said this last night, you had to play last night like it was an elimination game because of the guy pitching today for the Tigers. It's just when you have a chance to get a win in October, there are exceptions to the rule, but more times than not, man, you got to get it. You got to make the moves to get it.
And to that point, one thing I will say, Aaron, is that there were, and I was hearing it from my family back in Michigan, there were plenty of people on the Tigers side that when Rafael Montero came in the 6th inning yesterday and walked to Rosarena and gave up the hit to Raleigh and then the hit to J-Rod, they were all saying, he should have been in the game. Why isn't Finnegan in the game? So basically, it's on the flip side. There were for a brief moment in time yesterday, it was the Tiger fans who were upset about their bullpen too, and their manager is excellent at managing the bullpen. And so it's to your point, Aaron. You're only as good. And by the way, if George Kirby's pitch right before the home run is an inch further in, or if the pitch would have been called a strike, which had happened at different times last night, it's a very different conversation that we're having right now.
Yeah, it happened in that at-bat.
Yes. I mean, that's
same exact
But that's the thing, right? Your margins are so slim this time of year. They're so slim. And the smallest thing can flip a game because the game is managed differently and it's played differently. So, and there is no more, oh, well, Munoz isn't available, so no. Everybody's available, right? Their side, Mariners side. It's just a different game, and when you sniff it, you got to go get it.
Aaron, we appreciate you, man.
Hey.
As always.
Great talking with you guys.
Have a great call.
Thanks, guys.
Have fun tonight.
Thank you.
There he is, Aaron Goldsmith. You're going to hear him on the broadcast tonight, as you always do, doing a great job out there. We're going to come back, put a wrap on this, and send you over to the Mariners official pregame show with our Mariners insider, Shannon Dreyer. All of that coming up next as we continue live from T-Mobile Park. It's Seattle Sports here with the Mariners Pennant Push. Seattle Sports on 710.
If you love to travel, Capital One has a rewards credit card that's perfect for you. With the Capital One Venture X card, you earn unlimited double miles on everything you buy. Plus, you get premium benefits at a collection of luxury hotels when you book on Capital One Travel. And with Venture X, you get access to over 1,000 airport lounges worldwide. Open up a world of travel possibilities with the Capital One Venture X card. What's in your wallet?
Terms apply. Lounge access is subject to change. See CapitalOne.com for details.
With Progressive's Home Quote Explorer, you can easily find the right home insurance for you, even if it's not with Progressive. But if you don't choose us, then sure, okay, it's not going to work out. We're not going to cry about it or stay awake wondering what our future together would have looked like. We can't get emotionally invested, even if it sounds like we are. Progressive's Home Quote Explorer allows you to easily compare home insurance rates and coverages in one place, even if it's not with us. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and third-party insurers. Comparison rates not available in all states or situations. Prices vary based on how you buy. I love you. I shouldn't have said that.
Comcast Business can help turn your small business into a connected, secure, modern business. It's how restaurants become reliably up and running neighborhood favorites. How healthcare offices become the data-protecting caregivers that we all depend on. And how wealth management firms become cyber-securing guardians of your information. With reliable connectivity, enhanced cybersecurity, and Wi-Fi backup, your business can stay connected and get threat ready with Comcast Business. Powering possibilities.
Now through November 16th, new Comcast Business customers can get started with 150 megabit internet plus security for $59.99 a month for 12 months with a 2-year agreement. Plus, ask how to get a $500 prepaid card on a qualifying gig package. Call today. Restrictions apply. Requires enrollment in paperless billing and auto pay with bank account. Early termination fee applies. Equipment, taxes, and fees extra.
This March, Wendy's is fueling the madness with amazing deals on their hamburgers made with fresh, never frozen beef.
Like a juicy Dave's single for $1 and a fresh $2 Dave's double with in-app offer.
It's such a good deal, we wrote a little ditty about it.
Get it for $1. Dave's single, order in the app. Dave's single, get it for $1. Choose wisely, choose Wendy's official hamburger March Madness.
Limited time offer. Participating U.S. Wendy's. See offer details and redeem at Wendy's app. Account registration required. Fresh beef available in the contiguous U.S. and Alaska.
With the new IHOP value menu, $6 is all it takes to go to your happy place, where stacks of pancakes with bacon and eggs are just $6 every day. French toast, sausage, and eggs are, you guessed it, $6. And fluffy omelets come with a side of pancakes and only cost $6. Go to your happy plates every day at IHOP. $7 in some locations. Available every day for a limited time at participating restaurants in the U.S. Hours may vary. No substitutions. Not valid with other discounts or promotions. Prices may vary.
So my mother is thinking of switching from Verizon to Pure Talk, but she's worried the deal sounds too good to be true. Michael, she said, how can those Pure Talk people offer me the same basic service as Verizon for so much less money? I said, Ma, go ask Google how much Verizon spends on advertising and promotions. A few seconds later, my mother said, oh my goodness, $12 billion a year? That must be a typo. I'll tell you what I told my mom. It's not a typo. Verizon spends $12 billion a year on advertising and promotions, and their customers are paying for it. Well, Pure Talk doesn't spend that kind of money on commercials. Trust me, I would know. That's why they can offer you and my mother unlimited talk, text, and plenty of data on a crazy fast 5G network for just $25 a month. And if you're a business owner, you could really save a fortune. Dial pound 250, say the words Mike Rowe, and you'll get an additional 50% off your first month. That's pound 250 Mike Rowe. Pure Talk. Everything you need and nothing you don't.
Back to Mariners Pennant Push, presented by Cheetos.
Got to let the music flow. You got to get the vibe going, Charlie. You got to get the vibe going. We got that going. Good vibes only, man. You know the story.
Yes.
You know the story.
That's the Eugenio Suarez quotation, of course.
That's right. That is right. That is the voice of Charlie Furbush and Jon Morosi. Bob Stelton with you live from T-Mobile Park. This is the Mariners Pennant Push presented by Cheetos. It's a Cheetos thing, by the way. So we got game 2 just a little over an hour away. John, I'll start with you. Give me a sense of what to expect, and if you're the Mariners, if you're in there giving them a pep talk, are you leaning on, hey, you've seen this guy twice, you've beaten him twice, you know what you're capable of. What's the message? If you're Dan, you know, and you got to get these guys relaxed, because it is, as Aaron said, this feels like a do or die game. You don't go to Detroit 0-2 and feel like, oh, we'll just sweep the next 3.
Well, Bob, it's interesting, and this is something that Julio was asked about earlier today, which was, what did you say in the clubhouse last night? What did Dan say in the clubhouse last night? And the answer was, not much. And by the way, that's a good answer. I think, yes, we all know what postseason baseball is all about. We understand that you're playing high-pressure games from the very beginning of the series, but this is not an especially uptight group of players. They had to have their one big conversation there in Tampa that Shannon referenced earlier on. But aside from that, this doesn't strike me as a team that's required a lot of maintenance. This is a team that loves to play the game. And I do look at players that have a proven track record in the playoffs. Rosarena stands out to me in a big way. Suarez also stands out to me in a big way. I'm looking at someone like Robles. I'm looking at, Crawford. It's a tough matchup left on left, but I'd like to see the bottom part of the lineup feed into the top part with some good at-bats. And I'm going to go back to what we just talked about with Aaron a moment ago. the process last night, yes, they went outside the zone a little bit at times. They didn't strike out a ton. They had some loud contact. Last night was a disappointing result, but it was a well-played baseball game. It wasn't a sloppy game. It wasn't a game the Mariners just gave away. They certainly could have won it, but I like, Charlie, the way that they approached yesterday's game. And I think that these players, to me, they seem to really enjoy playing together. And we know this. Suarez, free agent after this year. Naylor, free agent after this year. Polanco has an option. It's a third of the lineup. Garver, yes, exactly. A significant portion of the lineup that really loves playing together, and I don't think they're ready to go home yet, so to speak. And they know that the better they play, the longer they can delay going home.
Yeah, this is do or die to a T right now. I think the Mariners know what they're up against in Scoobel, and knowing that, and I think that's another thing. It's like you look at it, you go, is this really the last home game we want to play, right? I think when you come out and you come out strong and realize that we can do something great here, and just think about it this way: you come out and you do your business, you take care of Scoobel. There's a really good chance you're going to feel good about it if you have to face him in Game 5 again. That means you took him down 3 times this year. A good chance you can get him for a 4th. So I think the Mariners know what's against them, and it's great that there wasn't much to say because it is what it is. It was a tough game last night. There is no sense in harping on it at all. It is over, and today is a new day. You're going to have a bunch of more opportunities, and it's going to come down to, I think it's going to be another close game. It's going to be another fight to the finish, and somebody's going to get a big out from the bullpen, or somebody's going to get a big hit offensively, and it's going to crack open this game, and hopefully it's on the Mariners side today.
Who's somebody, and we're just about 2 minutes away here, but who's somebody you look at beyond Cal, beyond Julio, even beyond Randy, that you expect to step up tonight, or think it's crucial that they do? And to me, there's not a wrong answer, but I'm looking at Gino. Gino's got to be that guy that you traded for. He's got to be that guy that provides that lift in the lineup, that pop, that threat. And I didn't love his ABs last night, but it wasn't just him. It was everybody but Cal and Julio. So he's a guy, Polanco, all these guys are huge for this lineup. But that's the guy I'm looking to, especially with a lefty up there on the hill. Who are you looking at?
I'm going Polanco. And the reason I'm going Polanco is you got a switch hitter who bats cleanup. He is, obviously Raleigh's also a switch hitter, but the switch hitters can neutralize a lot of the mixing and matching that a manager like A.J. Hinch really enjoys embracing at a time like this. So I'm looking for Polanco to be the man who really was signed and brought in, Charlie, to be that fulcrum of the lineup. Polanco, big game in Game 2.
Yeah, as much as I want to say Julio, because I think as the team goes, Julio goes, to me it goes back to the top of the lineup in Randy Arozarena. His playoff experience, we all know how great that is, but from a tone-setting perspective of what that does to the rest of the lineup, and knowing that you're at the top of the lineup, you're going to get more at-bats. So his name's going to get called up again. He's going to be due up a few different times. So I look for Randy to have some big at-bats and get it done, so you can kind of lead into the lineup and have all the other guys do what they do well.
Yeah, we need playoff Randy. Playoff Randy's got to show up here. That's what we need.
We need playoff Mariners. That's what we need.
It's a
collective effort.
That's what we're going to get, by God. I want to thank our guests today, Gary Hill, Shannon Dreyer, Rick Rizzs, and Aaron Goldsmith for joining us on the program. You got Game 2 coming your way, but before that, you got the Mariners pregame show with our Mariners insider, Shannon Dreyer. It's coming your way next at Seattle Sports on 710.
Hawks Live. Touchdown! Presented by the Dining District at the Bellevue Collection. Thursday nights from 7 to 9 p.m. Live from Bellevue Square's center court. Come on by and join hosts Michael Bumpus and Paul Moyer and a different Seahawks player every week.
This should be fun.
Hawks Live. Thursday nights from 7 to 9 p.m. Exclusively on the home of the Seahawks. Seattle Sports on 710 and the Seattle Sports app.
What if you had the smartest Wi-Fi? If you did, it'd be Xfinity, of course, and it'd come with their best state-of-the-art equipment. It would boost speeds to the devices that needed them most, prioritizing your most important connections, whether you were streaming, gaming, or gaming while pretending to work. And it would let you stream 4. That's right, 4 games on one screen. It would even power your mobile connection so you could bring faster, secure Wi-Fi speeds with you where you use it most. It would be proactive and fix problems before you knew you had them. Impressive, right? And it would have security features that protect you from threats at home and online. Kind of like a force field for your life. If you had the smartest Wi-Fi, well, everything would work together seamlessly to keep you connected, no matter what. Xfinity. Imagine that. Restrictions apply.
Too many breakup songs getting you down? Put a little bossa nova in the playlist. Sometimes a different way is the better way. Like the SR 509 Expressway near SeaTac. Get a good-to-go pass to save $2 every time you use it, and on other toll roads in Washington.
When it comes to the security of your business, doubts can creep in about who you're trusting to protect it. At Bail Alarm, we got you. For nearly 80 years, we've been putting our customers' minds at ease with our advanced technology and personalized support. Feeling insecure about your current security service? Visit bailalarm.com today.
Now is your time to get into a new D.R. Horton home by taking advantage of its National Red Tag Sales event going on right now through October 19th. Stop by any of its participating communities and find select Red Tag homes at incredible pricing. So whether you're buying your first home or looking for an upgrade, you don't want to miss the Red Tag Sales event going on right now. Discover the D.R. Horton difference at drhorton.com. D.R. Horton, America's builder and equal housing opportunity builder.
If you love to travel, Capital One has a rewards credit card that's perfect for you. With the Capital One Venture X card, you earn unlimited double miles on everything you buy. Plus, you get premium benefits at a collection of luxury hotels when you book on Capital One Travel. And with Venture X, you get access to over 1,000 airport lounges worldwide. Open up a world of travel possibilities with the Capital One Venture X card. What's in your wallet?
Terms apply. Lounge access is subject to change. See CapitalOne.com for details.
Drivers who switch and save with Progressive could save hundreds. With that kind of money, you could go big time and skip the regular line at the airport and pay for speedy security. Imagine not having to quickly unpack and pack at the place you already came packed to. And wearing your shoes the whole time you're there? You can't put a price on that kind of luxury. Well, actually you can, and you paid for it. Switch to Progressive and you could save big time for speedy security. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, not available in all states. Potential savings will vary.
This message comes from Viking, committed to exploring the world in comfort. Journey through the heart of Europe on an elegant Viking longship with thoughtful service, destination-focused dining, and cultural enrichment on board and on shore. With small ships that bring travelers closer to the destination, there's more time to explore. And every Viking voyage is all-inclusive, with no children and no casinos. Discover more at Viking.com.
Here's the tale of the daily Medfield. Same old pharmacy, same old bill, but those prices kept rising higher still.
Till the savings wrangler rode in, cool as can be. Tap Good RX, saving massively.
No plan? Don't matter none. Up to 80% off. Deals are done.
Discounts hitting harder than Ma's chili. Dang. That one little app does all the rest.
Save time and money on prescriptions.
Check Good RX. Good RX is not insurance.
This is Mariners baseball on Seattle Red. On 770 KTTH Seattle, 97.3 KIRO FM, HD3 Tacoma Seattle, 94.5 K233 DT Eastlake, 33 BU Seattle.
This is the Seattle Mariners pregame show, counting you down to first pitch between the Detroit Tigers and your American League West champion Seattle Mariners in the American League Division Series.
And the fans are going crazy here at T-Mobile Park.
Pregame coverage is presented by the Chevy Colorado, Cheetos, and by Muckleshoot Casino Resort. The countdown to first pitch starts now.
Castillo winds. Here comes the pitch. Swung on and missed. Blows it by him. 96. The Castillo flex. Strikeout number 10 on a brilliant night from Luis Castillo. Driving towards a division title, and Castillo goes 7 strong. Just one hit, 1 run allowed. He gets a standing ovation from a sellout crowd, retiring 21 of 22.
Luis Castillo has been red hot in the month of September, and today he gets the ball as the Mariners look to even up the series against the Tigers. It is a beautiful Sunday afternoon here in Seattle, and we are here to get you ready for some Mariners baseball. Good afternoon and welcome to T-Mobile Park. Shannon Dreher coming to you live from the Western Washington Toyota broadcast booth, counting you down to the 5:03 first pitch. Luis Castillo and Tarek Skubal, your pitching matchup. Now, last night did not go as they hoped it would go, but today an opportunity to get even in the series and regroup a little bit. They'll have to get through one of the best, if not the best, starting pitcher in baseball this year. But as you no doubt know, the Mariners have won 2 games Tarek Skubal started, so they'll have that in the memory bank. Now, I can tell you what they don't have in their memory bank right now. Last night, this team all season long, when hit with adversity, they've shown no problem in turning the page. And from those that I talked to earlier today, that's exactly what they've done. If they were on the mat last night, they're looking to get off of it and plan to come out fighting, as all of their season goals are very much still on the table. They got to play good baseball, however, and who better to have on the hill than Castillo, who earned his nickname The Rock in not being knocked off his game regardless of circumstances. He knows the stakes. In fact, Charlie Furbush on the postgame show last night noted Castillo lingered on the rail as the game ended, baseball in hand, and took a long stare at the mound as the Tigers took their victory handshakes on the field. He stayed for the whole thing. A lot of times the starting pitcher will go in a little bit early. He lingered. He watched. He knows what the situation is. Today he can do something to help ensure the same doesn't happen today. Of course, to win, you've got to score runs, be them off Skubal or the pen. Here's Dan Wilson's lineup to start the game against the lefty Skubal. This is what we've got at the top is Randy Arozarena in left field.